Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of A Way Back Home with me, your host, Acquennetta Finesse. Now, today is a very special day because this podcast is going to have some changes, and it's for the best. It's for the best. I'm utilizing this creative outlet as a means to process some things and also discuss them with you guys. I always love hearing anyone's take or wise, perspective on whatever I'm talking about. And being honest and having honest relationships with other people and, the world around me and myself, most importantly, has been a priority as of recently. A part of that looks like me showing up authentically and doing specifically this podcast with a high level of not even just, is there a low level of integrity? Just integrity. Just integrity. I've come to the realization that something I had every intention of doing since I was 18. I turned 28 this year, so we'll just round it out to 10 years. But something that I had every intention of doing since I was 18 has not been done. I actually would say that the total opposite has been done. And for me, that's very heartbreaking. It's also the truth, though. And so I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay. I can handle difficult truths. And so the thing is, though, what I had intended at 18, so when I was like 18, I was actually specifically at 18, I was ridiculously depressed. My cortisol levels were fucking, I didn't even know what cortisol was. I don't think at that time. But looking at like my graduation pictures and things like that, ooh, yeah, you just tell like I was experiencing a lot of life. And life had just caught up with me. And I remember coming to my mom, mind you, at this time, no one, and I still believe I've been the first. No one in my family had like gone to therapy. I don't come from a family that encourages, therapy on a large scale, or even just really knows like what it can do, how it can be helpful, how literally anything probably outside of physical therapy is helpful. And so at the beautiful, wise, young age of 18, I was fully aware that what I was feeling, I was ready to wreak havoc on the world. Mind you, I was about to go away for college. And so that scared me. It wasn't like going away to college that scared me. What scared me was I was aware that it wouldn't be, oh, what a nice thing of it. I just thought, anyway, I'm going to keep going. You'll see. I even though I didn't know how I was going to necessarily do it, I had the awareness that and I didn't even use it in these words, but I knew that I told my mom, I did use these exact words. I said, I want to go to therapy because I don't want to hurt people that didn't hurt me. Like they didn't do anything, but I had the awareness enough to know like in some way, shape or form, it's gonna want to get released. It's gonna want to come out. Like that anger, that sadness, that get back, that bitterness, that resentfulness, those moments of heartbreak, like they want to be expressed. They have to be. And so even though I meant well and I ended up going to therapy, that therapist, God bless him. He was a Christian therapist. So again, right, like my mom didn't really know about therapy and neither did I. So it was really a shot in the dark for a long time with therapists. So much so I'd even say that the last therapist I had is the best one. And I've had a few. Cause baby, one thing I'll do, I'll fire a therapist. Oh, ooh, okay. But yeah, I just didn't want to hurt people. Cause I knew that I was like, they didn't do anything. But I had the wisdom to know how we get down as humans. We get down with the get down. Hurt people. And I didn't know to what extent I would do it. And I think I even also understood. Yeah, like I understood at that time, even with knowing less logically, I still had that inner wisdom of like, I don't know how, but it's gonna be released. And I don't even, like, I may not know how to release it, but I also don't have the tools to combat it. And so I guess from there, that's definitely a place of compassion, because I didn't know. And I also knew that I didn't know, so much so I said, let's go to see a therapist. But yeah, as we fast forwarded in life, I've been bleeding on people that didn't hurt me. And that's a sad, I guess, come to moment, whatever. Like, it's just sad to know. It's sad to know that I had, like, really good intentions. And though my intentions were to do the complete opposite, it hasn't taken away from the impact it has had on my relationships with everything and everybody. Like, I can truly say it feels like everything in my life has come to a halt. And it's so loud. It's like a screeching halt. Like wherever I was headed, or not even was, wherever I'm still headed, life is like, hey, I see where you going, girl. Before you get there, you gotta handle this. So much so, I'm going to, like, I feel like God is like, oh, so much so, I'm going to shut some things down. Like, this business is not up and running right now. You need to do some in-house cleaning. That's what's happening. Wow, what a metaphor, what a visual. But yeah, it's been impacting every area of my life since then. I didn't realize that was showing up in my life and having several jobs. I didn't realize it was showing up in my frustration with people and my irritability. I didn't know that it was revealing itself in the way that I chose to handle money and the lack of handling it with care. Yeah, everything has seemed to come to a halt, and also in a loving way, right? Because, I mean, like I said, and I was telling my sister, when God sees my intention is too much in one area that's not honoring my highest good, God will limit my interaction or connection to it. And, in hindsight, it is really nice to see, I guess, from that perspective, to look back and see those moments as that, and see it as, when that came to a halt, God was like, please, you don't have to go that way. Or, hey, can we just redirect our attention over here? We don't need to work there, And as much as I would love to say that a lot of things that came to a halt, I think that sometimes, especially at least for me, due to social media and the things that I'll look at and what my algorithm will consistently show me, that shit turns into like an echo chamber. Especially with the phones listening, because all you got to do is talk about something and you'll be like, exactly. It's like your phone heard you. That's what that was. But I used to see a lot of these things as like, fine, you're no good for me. That's because I'm too good for this. I'm better off without you. Actually, I don't even, you know what? I feel like them people in the movies, you know what? Fuck you. Like when they're walking away. I feel like I have had that experience, and that's not really what was happening. The truth of the matter was I was bleeding on people and things, and yeah, it just hurt people, baby. Hurt people. Ironically though, we still have a powerful hand in our own lives. So connections that I valued very much have suffered and or ended due to me simply being hard-headed, I guess. And I say hard-headed in this sense, and maybe that's not the kindest word. I can't think of another word, but whatever word falls under, fine, whatever, I'll go, like that type of energy of, victimization. That's what it is. Very much the, oh, woe is me. Look what you did. Now I have to do this, and in all honesty, listen, because what else I'm going to do? I said, I'll be honest. In all honesty, I feel like what I'm feeling or have felt that I for so long and continue to carry, very deep too, like carry deep inside of myself, just real deep, to the point where I'm like, oh, forgot you was there. Damn. Where you come from? All right. Good day here. Just like having a meeting and I'm thinking 5 people finna come. So I got 5 sandwiches and then 10 people come and everyone's hungry. That's what this feels like. I'm like, oh my gosh. And you guys don't want to, like, the parts of me, you guys don't want to like share the sandwiches. You want your own. So now I got to go back out, get more sandwiches. And what does that look like? Self-compassion, self-love, taking care of myself, being kind to myself, But yeah, maybe not so much hard-headed, but victimization, and maybe from a more compassionate perspective is these relationships and connections that I had cared about and still care about, they suffered or ended or are suffering, because a part of me feels like some may be suffering right now and people just aren't telling me, which is fine. Cause I'm not gonna hold you. I wouldn't know how to tell no firecracker like me. Like the past 10 years, I've been a hothead. I have been emotionally, I've been a fucking hothead. You tell me I'm up in arms because I feel like you're gunning for me. So I get it. I would be a little, you know what? I'd be like, it ain't even that deep. I ain't gonna tell the shit. I just stopped talking to her. Oh, and to that, it was hard to say it, Netta. It was a hard pill to swallow. I was talking to my dad and he was like, I forgot what he was talking about. And it made sense to what he was talking about. But he was like, and people that are depressed, don't nobody want to be around no depressed ass person. Now, his delivery, what he was talking about, I know. And yeah, could it have been said a little differently? Yeah, sure. Like, I guess, right? Like maybe softer, but for who? Because that's the truth. He wasn't, what I received was, it's not just that people don't want to be around people that are depressed. That's not what it is. Most depressed people are bleeding, and they're bleeding on other people. That's what they don't want to be around. I don't mind you. People don't mind, like, even, and I think that's what makes it hard. Like, when I think about moments where people have connected with me in my lowest moments of depression, I used to wonder, like, why are you around me? I feel like I'm sucking, like, and the interesting thing was, in those unique pockets of time that I'm remembering, I was not necessarily bleeding on anyone. If anything, it was so excessively internal. I was not saying anything. It was very, I was almost acting it out as how a lot of men do throughout society, where it's like, well, I'll keep it in, and like it'll come out in just like a snarky comment or me being irritable, but I'm not excessively like throwing, like, just type of emotional thing. And so I'd probably say the past 3 years it's been like, it's been that. And so I've seen the impact of that. One friendship did end, and even now I'm not gonna hold you, all honestly, I don't know if that was what was best. And by what I mean, like, what was best, I mean, like, just the way that I went about it. Cause again, it was real, like, I always have this visual of, like, when I think of that particular friendship ending, I see like a hand knocking all these glasses over, and it's like, did you just want to get one glass? Was that your way of saying you didn't want it anymore? It was, yeah, like an adult throwing a tantrum. And these have been my own words. I'm like, you let those kids have tantrums, because when adults have tantrums, that shit is nasty. And I think I've been having tantrums. I think that's been my hot-headedness. Yeah. But like, to the bleeding on, people that I care deeply about, and really so much, right? Like, the friendships that the people that are closest to me. Oh, interesting. I realized that I would critique people. I would critique people in my life for giving me, quote unquote, like, crumbs, because they would come to me and their cup would be empty. And what I was so used to was like an interaction of a need-based relationship. And so if your cup's empty and my cup's empty, well, what the fuck? When you're coming, I'm not saying it's right. It's actually really incorrect. It's not healthy at all. But what I'm saying, just perspective wise, is like, I'm aware of how that happened. And on the other side of that, it's like, that's not their responsibility to fill your cup, And so bleeding on them, and when the mess impacted us both, I end up blaming them for regular shit that is so not comparable to what I'm actually experiencing. For example, if I am grieving, just moments of, if I'm healing, grief is a part of that. If I'm healing an abandonment wound or a neglect wound, and you go to the grocery store, and instead of coming back in 20 minutes, you come back in 40, I'm going to lose my shit. Because what I experienced emotionally was you leaving in such a grotesque way. And this past year, I recognized in one particular friendship because I said, "Oh, baby, am I repeating patterns?" Whoa. And it was weird because I couldn't tell. Don't lie, I could tell. I think I couldn't believe that I went into it that quick. I couldn't. That's what I was having a hard time believing. I said, "Oh, did I just get out of one thing and into another seamlessly that quick? Oh my God." Like, I didn't want to believe that. Listen, I heard somebody say it and they didn't want to. I say it. I'll say it for me. It was very weak. It was very like, girl, get up. Like, and sometimes you need that talk with yourself. Like, hey, you get up. Get up. This is not like, and I think the drama, the chaos of bleeding on people, emotionally dumping, taking and then or being mad, expecting you to fill my cup and being mad when my cup's empty because suddenly it's not my cup, right? My cup, my responsibility. But yeah, it's just, it wasn't comparable. A lot of things just, I realized, weren't comparable. And I recognize that in a friendship, specifically last summer, I was like, they're not upsetting me. Something else is. But what they're doing is exacerbating it. And yeah, I've gotten I've gotten to a place where it is not only best for me, but it is best for the status and the maintenance of the relationships that I value, that I stay right where I am. That if this is where you hear from me, this is where you hear from me for now, because I'm setting shit off. I am. And I can acknowledge that, and I will accept that. And as much as I'm fucking terrified, petrified, okay? Shaking in my boots. Shiver me timbers, ho. As much as I'm terrified of healing and looking up and nobody that I want to be there is there, I remind myself of a few things. One, perspective. I'm not alone now. I've never truly been, nor will I ever be. Two, I would rather have connections with people from a healed place of living instead of a hurt and need-based place. So with that alone, the healing's worth it. I'm worth it. My life is worth it. The quality of my life is worth it. And everything's taken care of. I can focus on healing. And that is scary, that everything, this must be that part where it's like, God got it. I'm in a position now where everyone in my life they want the same thing for me and from me. And I'm not gonna hold you. That's bink in my ass. That's whoop 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 whoop. Bop bop bop. Yeah, that's getting me. Because I've been spending my entire life asking things from people, or asking to receive affection, or asking to get love. And then I'm like, okay, here you go. Like, in exchange. And so not only to have it abundantly in my dynamics with people, and to have it so genuinely and organically, And them looking at me like, we're not asking you for anything. And so what that leaves me with is the grief of being like, so what do you do now? Because, if you've spent a majority of your lived experience, or what you can remember, catering to people's needs and emotions almost hyper vigilantly, to the extent that, you get into adulthood and a lot of people may just process it as, oh, that's just her, without, people that are, then the people that get really close are like, oh no, that's like a wound being expressed. I'm gonna love you through it. Like, I was just telling someone the other day how my best friend is the reason that I know about like unconditional love, which is a beautiful thing. At the same time, we didn't start becoming like really good friends until maybe like I was like 20. I'd say like we was locked in. And it just take time. But we've been friends since I was 18. And so when I look at from a place of accountability, responsibility, and integrity and what is important to me, starting over, healing, like truly just sitting with myself, asking the difficult questions, crying the motherfucking tears, feeling the feels, allowing myself to feel angry, allowing myself to feel frustrated and annoyed and sad and disappointed and, heartbroken and all of those things. It's like I look at my relationships now and I'm like, yeah, like to what I was saying earlier, I've lost enough really good connections due to this. And some are not even lost. They're just severed. And that takes time. And, you sever things and you can't, it's not up to me that, just when I'm healed, it's just, okay, y'all ready? That's just not how that works. And so I'm okay with that truth. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with starting over, and I would rather figure my shit out, because when I look at my relationships, when I truly look at my life, like, it's great. My life is filled with people that love me, care about me, and yeah. Also, I'm not seeing people clearly. Like, again, I'm like, are you sure you not trying to get me? And it's like, they're not trying to get you, Bookie. They are not trying to get you. I hope y'all can't hear that alarm because it's loud as hell. Ugh, first Tuesday. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Okay, we're back. Ooh. Okay, I was like, what type of alarm is that? What type of, first I said, it's the siren from the, they do it every month. Then I said, hold on, those sound like a lot of fire trucks. Anyway, back to what I was saying. It's gotten to the point where it's extremely evident that I'm not seeing people in my life clearly. And that is a problem for me because people care about me. People love me. And people have always cared about me and loved me. I was not seeing it. And that was even hard for me to hear, that I wasn't seeing it when it was coupled with just regular everyday shit. Like I was saying earlier, if I got abandonment issues and you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, well, now you haven't done anything. It has exacerbated that wound. And so I am responding from that instead of responding from, oh, well, it was just traffic or something. Or, they said they were going to do this and things happen. I understand. Like, my empathy, it's like shot, or it's not even shot. It's like confused. We need to, healing. And I reconnected with someone from my childhood recently, and we're really good friends. And since then, I've been really curious about what that means for me in the space I'm in, because I also connected with some other people, like reconnected. And I was like, what is going on? Why are we like, what are you reflecting back at me? Because I understand that is how life works, especially when it comes to people. Come to find out, it was a few things, but the one that stood out the most was that the connection reminded me of a mental and emotional space that I thought I left, or like was leaving. I didn't realize I was still here, which is that everyone's out to get me in some way, emotionally or mentally. So like, always have your guard up. Sometimes you even got to throw the first punch, because you never know, which is wild. Like, living life like that is so not fun. I would not recommend. Okay. Whoa. Would not recommend. So looking from that time till now, I see how that has continued to show up in my friendships and my connections with family members. And I was humbled the other day by my own thoughts. I asked myself why I've always encouraged everyone else to make changes for me, for me to feel better. But I never saw fit that that never was a question for me. Like, everyone else changed, not me. And I said, wow, that's a hard pill to swallow. Like, it is. It just is. Because that's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. It's me. It was me acting like that from a place of hurt, a place of pain, and a nice case of victimization. Because I'll be honest, you can definitely get a kick out of the woe is me. You do. You get the chaos, you get the thrill, you get the roller coaster, you get the excitement, oh my God, look at what's happening, oh my God. But then for me, it had gotten to a point where life was feeling like an echo chamber. So that wasn't fun anymore, because no one in my life was affirming my bullshit, which is how it should be. Like, in this regard, I say this very lightly and carefully, but I'm so happy that I feel alone. I'm happy that I feel othered in my own life, because that just showed me like I'm not being myself in the way that I believe. This is not fully me. You're still hurting and you're still acting out of that hurt. And so, I was so used to like being needed and having need-based connections that once I realized a few things that I didn't need, or realized how to get them myself, my world started to shift, like the way that I saw it. But then I went back. I went back. Because this healing shit is hard. hard. Okay? Hard. This healing shit is hard as fuck. Like, even when I remember, I remember seeing on the internet, they said, y'all act like this healing shit is like, it's like, it don't look like that. And I used to agree for a different reason because I thought I was healing. What I was doing, listen, I was putting on a fucking show. There was a part of me that was definitely putting on a show. There was a part of me that was attached to feeling, to me, that was a thrill of life. Pain was about as thrilled as it was getting. And so, to me, having excitement and stability, that's a new one. That's new for me. How to create excitement and stability in one's life. Because to me, I thought you had to pick, so I chose excitement. And I said, ooh, got more than I bargained for. Okay. But yeah, this healing shit hard. And I don't give a fuck when nobody talking about all this crying. Ghetto. All this crying. But I'm also happy. Cry it out. Cry it out. Cause what I mean by like going back is literally about this time last year, or maybe even like, oh damn, it's February, girl, I don't know, just or sometime around last year. Okay, I want to say like March, April. I was on my way, and it got scary because I was so much on my way. Like, it was scary to be alone because this space, this journey, this path, it don't got nobody name on it but mine. I can't bring nobody with me. I don't get to have a partner in crime. I don't get to have somebody like in the movies, like they got a buddy or something. You know, that's not what's happening. I don't have somebody with snacks. I'm thinking of Lord of the Rings. I don't got nobody with food. Maybe it's one of those things that a perspective is I'm going to meet people along the way, but it just got really scary. So I went back. I went back, and it was because I felt like everything around me was falling, and it was. And I think, in all honesty, from that time till now, I had tried to pick up the pieces of what was broken and build the same shit back. The thing is, though, it was broke from the beginning, right? That's why it failed. It was done. And I'm trying to pick up the pieces of stuff that's done. Like, it's done. It's over with. It's so done. And it's done. It's done. In reality, it's time to just walk away, cut my losses, learn from the lesson, do better. So in so many words, I didn't fully grieve. I couldn't. It felt unbearable at the time that 10 years of what I had made an effort to do not only didn't happen, but I added more shit. And so I felt like I didn't just waste it. I did other things. And I know that that's just what it feels like, because at the same time, I am of the belief that all of my experiences have served me. That even the relationships that I fear, I may have squandered, or ones now that I'm like, damn, it's like, that is a genuine fear. And I'm just going to have to face it every day. I'm just going to have to face it till that bitch scared of me. Shit, I don't know. I'm just going to have to face it, which is, that like there's people that I have in my life now that I would just so like to keep. And I don't know if they finna be on the other side of this. Cause again, I'm on this journey by my lonesome. It's nobody here with me. Okay. Do you hear anybody else on this podcast? Listen. Exactly. But the feeling is very, 5 of Cups for all my tarot girlies. 5 of Cups, for anybody that doesn't know, It is a tarot card that represents grief. And in the image on the card, it usually shows 5 cups, but 3 of them are spilled. And 3 are spilled. Yeah, I got 2, but I'm sad as fuck over them 3. Like yeah, whatever. Yeah, all of that. But this time, there's nothing to go back to. The past is completed. It's done. What was done was done. What was said was said. And I can choose to be different. So I'm choosing to be different. I'm choosing to make different decisions and to face this shit head on. Choosing self-compassion, forgiving myself and others, feeling the depth of my pain. Ooh. Because, I know it ain't going to overtake me. It just, this shit deep. I need scuba diving gear or something. I need, this. I'll be like, damn. Like, some stuff I'll experience, like, I'll cry over it, and I'll be like, what happened? And in all honesty, sometimes it really doesn't fucking matter. Like, when you're crying, when you're grieving, the details aren't really, for me. We don't, details, not now. Not in real time. Like, we don't need to know what happened to cry about it. And I think that comes maybe from a place of like compassion. Like, I don't need to, it don't gotta be all that. It don't. And at the same time, I trust, ooh, as spooky ooky as it is, I trust more than my trust in this is bigger than my fear in that I'm not going to have the same people, which is like, I trust that me healing and doing this is going to have one of the most beautiful and positive impacts, not just on my life now, but for the rest of my life. And so there's a lot of people in this world. And, 1 may go, 10 may come. 10 may go, and the 1 may come. I trust it. I trust God. I trust my decision making. I trust the way my life unfolds, the way it's been unfolding. And another perspective that I gave myself this morning, which I was really thankful to have, that now as I process past experiences, this is now a journey of also collecting those golden nuggets of wisdom. I don't know. I just have this vision of like a garden or think of like a vineyard, but it's all gold. Just gold, like pearls shining, like a real luminescent thing on the inside. And imagine like every shitty situation in your life has one of those pearls or golden thingies. That's just how I see it. Because it's what I think it's not even just how I see it, it's what I truly believe. So that's why I see it like that. Like, I believe that, 1, my past can't hurt me. Hello. Okay, that's been done. It's already been done, right? The past been done. And at the same time, it's like, it's safe to go back. It's safe to look. It's safe to heal. It's safe to go through those things and to release the things that don't serve me and to continue to hold on to the beautiful wisdom of the things that do. And so, another part, or not another part, another part, being overwhelmed with all the love and care I've received over the years. Yeah, that's been a new one. For the things I wasn't able to see at the time, it's so beautiful, like the way that life is set up. Like, God has a God code, because the fact that I still have access to the love that people have given me And some of these people aren't even present in my life. And I don't think that that's a special thing that's occurring with me. I believe it's what happens when you open yourself up to the love that you believe yourself to deserve. And so, right, like I deserved it all along. I just didn't believe it. Thus, I wasn't open to receiving it. And so it kind of just stood there. But the beautiful thing that I'm experiencing is like, it didn't go somewhere else. Like sometimes at least I do. I'll feel sometimes like I'm losing something, or I'm losing access to a thing or a person, or, and it's like, I'm feeling love and gratitude for situations that they're done. And having access to that is beautiful, and then there's still like a level of sadness that some of those people just aren't here. So I'm feeling it without them being here, which would have been nice, but this is how it is. This is a part of the change, a part of the evolving process. And all in all, I would just rather lick my wounds or heal in public than bleed on people that I value deeply in private. Like, I'm so over bleeding on people, and I'm just taking the necessary precautions and steps to heal myself and also protect my relationships from the hurt version of myself that's trying to, hey, you just need a hug. I don't need you boxing people. Whoa, let me give you the hug. Please. Because another thing, transparency moment, as if this whole episode hasn't been that. I realized about 6 months ago, I couldn't stop talking about me. I'm so serious. It was bad. It was so bad. It was so uncomfortable. It was weird. It was icky. And it made it even more uncomfortable because no one was saying anything. Nobody was stopping me. Nobody was telling me, like, even like politely, like, Netta, stop talking. Like, you don't have to, let someone else talk. And that fucked with me mentally because I knew what was happening. I just didn't know how to stop it. And I didn't know what it was. I just knew I kept talking about me. And the only thing I knew was like, okay, a part of me wants to feel heard, but damn, like, whoa, like it was like word vomit. Like I couldn't stop myself. And, shout out to the people that I guess didn't stop me. Because maybe they thought like, you know what? I love her. She gonna figure it out. And also, yeah, no, I appreciate that also, because at the same time, my healing is my responsibility. And, it's also been a really big thing for me, recognizing the fullness of what it means to know and truly move in this way, that people and our dynamics with the people in our life are not vehicles. Like, they're not the people in my life. They're not vehicles for me to heal and then get off when I'm done. And and I know where that comes from. It comes from that need-based relationship, because that was how I grew up. That was what I knew. And I knew it was deeper than I thought. I was getting surprised, that people wanted me in their life. Like, that threw me off. When I was ready to go, when I felt like I had wrung something dry, which is really fucked up. That's just where I was, though, in a fucked up place. And yeah, just recognizing and realizing like, wow, people like me. They actually want me around. Okay. Strange. They don't need anything or want anything. Okay. I'm used to showing up in a position from here you go. And then when it's your end of the bargain, follow through, but that's not what's occurring. So what I'm experiencing is two things. One, why do you like me? Right? Two, if it's from a need-based perspective, when you don't hold up your end of the bargain that I really did tell you about, I feel slighted. And that's not what a true healthy or, dynamic is about. And it's just it's a rough, listen, guys, I'm having a rough time. It's a rough moment in life right now. And the beautiful thing is I have friendships where I can relax if I choose to. And in the past, and even recent past, I still experience them as if I need to protect myself from imminent danger. And that is not the case. So reminding myself that I'm safe has been a hell of a ride. And it's never too late to heal. It's never too late to be a better version of yourself. And I always had like a ick for starting over, because I think that it was coming from a really deep place of shame, because I felt like, what could have happened that you have to start over in life? For whatever reason, I saw it apply to things outside of myself, like, start a project over, or start like my YouTube channel over and over again, or starting, like, this isn't my first podcast, but it seemed like when it came to me, that just seemed like, and I think it's because we're not projects. We're people. In projects, you don't feel bad for starting over. But when you're a person, you have to come from a place of love, because you're not a project. And so it requires a lot more compassion to see a different tomorrow, to see a better you. That's not a project. That's evolution. Ooh, that was a lot. That was... Well, thank you guys for listening. I really hope that you guys stay along just to witness, I guess, the journey, or maybe you guys will come in halfway through, or who knows. But this is gonna be exciting, because ain't no turning back. Ain't nothing to turn back to. Just keep reminding me, it's nothing to turn back to. It's nothing to turn back to. I feel like Alice in Wonderland, when she shrunk, when she went through that door, she had to keep going. So she had to go. Ooh, that's another word. She couldn't go back. She had to get through that door. So she had to make some changes, baby, to get through that door, to get to where she. I'm about to shout. Oh, all right. Well, this is how I get off the phone, y'all. All right. Because it feels like a phone call. And that's, oh, wow. No need to throw a low blow at myself, but anyway. Thank you guys for listening, and I will catch you guys on the next episode of A Way Back Home. Bye. Love you.